Welcome, good people of the internet. This is the Present Barber Podcast. I'm your host, Nelson Carmona, and on this podcast, we share stories from the hair industry and the unique people in it. On today's episode, we have AOF Miguel. If you don't know who Miguel is, you definitely should. He's putting out some incredible high-quality reels, and he's got an incredible barbershop full of other content creators. We have a pretty good lengthy discussion of what it means to kind of come up from the bottom and build yourself up. And we discuss a whole plethora of things. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to the Present Barber Podcast. I'm your host, Nelson Carmona. And today's special guest, we have AOF Miguel. Welcome, Miguel.
Eat it. Welcome.
How you doing today?
Chilling, man. Same old.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on to the show, man. I know we've been trying to do this for a while, so it's great to have you on here, and also our first kind of virtual interview. So
yeah, no,
awesome.
For sure. I thought it was dope. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So usually on the podcast where we start off at is kind of the beginning of your barber journey and kind of get a backstory and a feel of what kind of brought you into the barber industry. So if we could touch on that, where did the journey begin for you as far as getting into barbering and first picking up the clippers?
Dang. So, bro, I started like my cousin used to cut my hair all the time, and he got like in trouble or whatever, and I pretty much had to like he got sent away, and I had to cut my own hair because I kind of never went to a barbershop like that, and it was just like a situation where like I had nobody else to do it, so I was just cutting myself up, and it was just like I don't know, after messing myself up so many times, it's just like I had to get over it, bro. And like some of my friends started like seeing me cut myself up, and they were like, "Oh, let me like, how do I put it?" They would ask me to like cut their hair because they couldn't pay for it themselves, so they were willing to like get messed up by me.
Yeah, they're willing to let you experiment on their heads.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much how it started.
So, did you do that like that throughout high school and stuff like that?
I did it throughout high school, but I was always like really low key with it. Like I wouldn't tell nobody I cut hair. It was just like something me and my friends kind of like were doing. But like one of my other friends, I don't know if you know him, Matt. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
He opened up a shop called Elite Barber Shop.
Oh, and, yeah.
Exactly. So he was cutting hair like about the same time I was, but he actually just got into a shop before me. So it was kind of like that was a person that like kind of put me onto the game, you know what I'm saying? But really, it was kind of like I kept it to myself. Like I wasn't trying to let nobody know. And when somebody asked me for a haircut that I couldn't do, I just send him to Matt because
gotcha.
I just, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, nah, my shaver broke. I can't do a skin fade with a 3 on top or something.
Got you. Was it more of like just passing it on to a friend and building that network of just other barbers and stuff?
Bro, I wish I could say that, but it was legit like, bro, I can't do that fade. So I'm gonna send him to my boy, you know what I mean?
Got you. So what got you to, I guess, start stepping out of that uncomfortable zone of like being comfortable of just taking on a skin fade and all that stuff?
Dang, I guess over repetitions, I was just like I felt myself getting better. So it got to a point where I was trying it out on my friends where it was like you know what, like this man's not paying me anyways, so if I mess him up, what's the worst that could happen? So yeah. I was legit messing them up, and then it got to a point, bro, I got this crazy story. There was this one of my neighbors, me and one of my boys, we opened up this thing. It was called like 5-star cuts. We did in my backyard. And,
okay.
like the whole neighborhood would come get a haircut with me or whatever. So me and my boy just set up in my backyard and bro, doing haircuts at like legit $3, $5, $10 with beard.
Yeah.
And I have this neighbor. His name was Homer, and we were like, I was cutting his hair, and I didn't know how to fade like that. You know what I mean? This man wanted a one in a skin fade, bro,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was just so like worried about it. I gave him like low key a 2 with the grain, and like I did a 1 on the sides. He wanted a 1 in a skin fade. Let me remind you. So
Yeah.
the very next day, we're kind of like neighbors. So I seen him outside. And I was like, damn, bro, my cut looks really fresh. But
Yeah.
I realized, like, damn, this man went and got that shit fixed. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? So it was like that.
yeah.
That shit hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that's a quick way to learn to step your game up and all that stuff. So when did it become a thing where it wasn't just on the side and you wanted to step into the actual barbershop scene and stuff like that and keep it to a professional level?
Man, I was doing this, it's like an online school. It's called North Nicholas. I'm sure you heard of it. It's like
Hmm.
an alternative school.
Yeah.
And I was there and I just always felt like school wasn't for me. So while I was at the school, I pretty much like looked up Sun State. It's like a barbering school out here,
Yeah.
and I signed up. They gave me a call. I took a test, and I was in barbering school just as easy as that, pretty much. So that's pretty much how I like started it, and yeah, from there I just never looked back.
Yeah, I remember you posting because I've been following you for a couple years now. I remember you posting this picture, and I was trying to find it, but I think you might have posted it on a story, or it might have just been on your feed before, and you archived it. But it was like it was a pretty bad digital picture, but it was you sitting down, not cutting any hair, and somebody else was cutting hair. And I remember the
Okay.
caption because I still like seeing this kind of. I always think back to this when I'm having like maybe a slow day or anything like that, of like building that patience and stuff like that. So do you remember that time or that post that I'm recalling?
Yeah, I know exactly what picture you're talking about. It was like me and my friends sitting down while like I think other barbers were cutting hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was at like my very first shop. That was at that shop with Matt actually, and bro, I was a very worst barber in that entire shop. Like
Mm.
clients would come in and legit ask me like, "Oh man, you still cutting hair?" Like I
Oh
don't think
man.
this like they would tell me that like and they were my friends. They were just trying to be honest. And they'll be like, "Yo, like I don't know if this is for you." Like I'd have like a haircut a day at that point. And you know how that
Mm.
is. It's a lot of this with barbering is like it's just like a mental game. And bro, I would hear stuff like that. I just go home like so like beat. But
Mm.
uh it's crazy. This barber Greg, he works out here in Twin Cuts. I think you know him too. He started like 6 months after I did, and it was like he was a new barber in the shop. So I was always like, oh, you know how it is, bro. Like when you have seniority in a way, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like I was the worst barber, but hey, shit, I'm better than him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that type of thing. Like fuck it.
Mhm.
And bro, this man Greg showed me a work ethic that, bro, it was unheard of for me, bro. Like the way he turned up on me was crazy.
Oh,
Like
really?
I went from being the second worst to like I was the worst again, and he like really just shit on my life, and I was just like, damn, like how did we even get here, you know? And I told myself I ended up like quitting that barbershop. It was that serious to me, and it was crazy because I just had started to build up my clientele,
Mm.
but I was hanging out with the wrong people in the shop. Like
Got you.
I'd come into work at 12, leave at 2, you know what I'm saying? We open up at 9, we close at 7. I was coming in late and leaving early and wondering why my like clientele wasn't building.
Mm.
And it was just one of those things like later on, but like at the moment I didn't really have nobody guiding me like that, you know. the owners there would tell me like, bro, all you have to do is go in early, leave late, and stuff like that. But when you're young like that, you just don't believe it. You're like, yeah, this man's just trying to take my money.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like, what he doesn't mean that. So, anyways, it got to a point where I was like, I gotta quit because, like, not quit barbering, but I had to quit that at that location because I just felt too heavily influenced by the people who I was around. So, I told myself when I left, I was like, yo, I'm gonna give this one more year because I'm not making no money. Like, I'm legit
Yeah.
like paying rent and keeping whatever, like, and I had just had my kids too at that point, so it was just like a really hectic time of my life or whatever. And I told myself I'm gonna go hard for 1 year. I'm gonna prove to myself that, like, if I couldn't do it, it was because uh it wasn't for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not because I wasn't like showing up to work or actually trying my hardest. So I went to Flawless Barbershop on Santa Barbara. The owner there is Gene. And when I made that switch, like, I always heard about Gene and like just the stuff, like, I don't know, like his logic. It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, like, bro, like, this man, when I got to that barbershop, I didn't even have a car. Like, it was like that. And I was
Got you.
legit like down bad, bro. So I was like, you know what, bro? Like, I gotta just do this for 1 year, and I'm gonna see the outcome, And if it didn't work out, I would have just stopped cutting hair. So I went to Jean's shop, and bro, I turned up, and like the clients started coming in, like, and I saw that, you know, it had a lot to do with myself, and it was never the shop I was at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I spoke to in our first interview that we did on this podcast with Yo-Yo, and I think he came from that thing of being under Gene and seeing his worth ethic and kind of turning up in that aspect. So how did you become better? Because I know people are listening to this podcast and are probably going to check out your Instagram work, and like I don't know, man, it's flawless work. So it's crazy to hear that, at one point you were just really bad, but I guess everybody starts off that way. And we don't get to see the years of building. What got you to that point where you sharpened your skills? Was it just being around better barbers, a better mentality, or was it just, you putting your nose to the ground and just working it?
I think it was definitely like a little bit of everything, really. And I think when I really, like, I felt like I reached a different level was I opened up a business with one of my best friends, and things didn't go too well due to, like, we were just really young. Like, I opened up Ace uh 2013. I was like 21, maybe just turned 22.
Okay.
So we were both really young, you know what I mean? So when I opened that out, when we opened up the shop and we had a falling out, like, my partner left and all the barbers went with him. So,
Oh,
bro,
wow.
like, the way I had the setup over there, it was like every, like, all the walls, it was like 6 stations, but like all the wall, like, pretty much half the shop was covered in like waiting chairs, right?
Oh, got you.
And bro, I was over there. It was like right in front of North High, so like the walk-in traffic was crazy. And I was in there, and there would legit be like an entire barbershop. I'm talking about like probably like 13, 15 people just waiting on me by myself,
Oh,
until
wow.
I was able to hire some help. And during that time, it kind of like put me in that same situation where it was like, damn, you're either gonna have to, like, put your head down and go through it, or you're gonna like fold. And during that time, it was like probably the hardest time of my life. But and just having to do so many haircuts, and before, it's kind of like you're taking your time, uh you know what I'm saying, you don't waste no time in getting better when you're put in a situation like that. And
Yeah.
from having to take everyone's clients no matter what, like, I couldn't just be like, oh, this haircut's hard, I'm gonna throw it to this person. I just had to do it. And through doing that, and I truly believe it's repetition. Repetition gets you better. You know what I mean? Like being around other barbers, all that, it helps, but you have to want to get better, but also you have to have repetitions. And bro, the amount of haircuts I did in that time frame, like it got me to a whole new level. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much that's how I got to like where I'm at right now with, you know, my skill level with haircuts. It was like you have to want to get better, and you have to just get your reps in, and that's really it.
Yeah, because I think that's crazy. I had no idea that you had to endure that. That's crazy. Now, in that situation, how long was it until you were able to find, I guess, barbers? Were you just being selective of who you brought in and all that stuff of building a team, or it just took you a while to attract people into the shop?
Okay, it was more like I had a barber with me that like stuck it out with me. My boy Abdil, he's actually doing a like clothing store now online. But anyways, he was finishing school, so he had like 2 months left. You know what I mean? So within that time, like it was one of those situations where you know how like barbers are, like we're all like low key petty, bro. Like it is what it is. Like it was one of those things where it's like I'm not about to have this man cutting while you know I have problems with this person, and you know how like stuff is with inspectors and all that. So I had to just like thug it out for like those 2 months, and when he when he finished school, like it was just me and him, and I started adding barbers after that, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Built a little solid team.
Yeah. I was gonna ask that later, but I guess we could kind of get into it now. So I see the team that you have built up now. It's pretty incredible. Just because you yourself make really high quality content, and so do your other barbers, and I feel like it's an infectious atmosphere that you're building up. And Abdil, I think I know the clothing brand you're talking about, but a lot of the other barbers are doing things for themselves, as far as building a brand and all that stuff. So if we could kind of get into where did your curiosity go into making content? Because right now you're killing it with the reels, and you've always had your kind of Ace of Fades brand push forward, but what brought you into turning up that level of quality pictures, cuts, and content?
Dang. Okay, so with the whole thing with content was it goes back to that situation where I had to like build my business. So I did the whole content thing before, like a couple years ago, and it was just like I was having like viral videos on Facebook. Like Facebook was really like the main place I was advertising, and it was just going crazy. But within how do I put it? Within like my social media going crazy, it like overwhelmed me with clients, and I didn't know how to handle it. But to go back to answer your question, like what made me want to get into social media, it's always been the same thing, and it's like I'm trying to make money. Like honestly, like I'm fueled by knowing the fact that like if 1 million people see a product or whatever, you know, if you hit 10% of them, like you're gonna make some money. So that's just always what I've been fueled by. Like, and I hate to sound shallow like that, but like that's why I'm kind of I don't know if you noticed, but like uh I don't post like my whole life on social media really. Like I post things here and there, but like really like I don't even have pictures of my kids, my family, and stuff like that. But I do understand it's kind of part of it. Yeah, bro. It's part of it. It is what it is. But I'm like really reserved. I'm an introvert. Like I don't like being the center of attention like that. But I understand, especially like I was watching like all the videos of everybody you interviewed before me, and it's true. Like you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and that's why I'm here with you right now. You know, like I have to like just get myself out there more, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Now, where did you? Because talking about the quality stuff, because I remember just anybody that I've shown your page and the level that you bring it to. What was that desire? Was it just the outcome is better because the quality is better, or is that a way to express your artistic expression through it as well?
No, absolutely. Like I'm a perfectionist, so when I'm posting
Yeah.
something, before I post it, it's crazy. I'll be like, yo, what's Nelson gonna think about this cut? It's weird. It's like
Mm,
I'm weird like that. Like I'm like, this corner right here, like I see it and probably 90% of people won't see it, but that 10% of people that I know that will see it, like I just won't even post it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I do feel like it's kind of one of those things where it's like yeah, it's expressing my attention to detail, and like I'm trying to get over that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cuz I have a lot of work where it's still like it's still great, but is it like what I would want to like really stamp my name on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I feel like it like if I go 70% and I've worked so hard to where like my 100%, I think that 70% could still carry on for me when it comes to certain content, you know. And whenever
Yeah.
I feel like really trying, like I feel like uh people will be able to notice that, and they'll understand like, okay, like this one's he's going hard on this one, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's definitely how I like express my attention to detail for sure.
Yeah. Now, when I first met you, I think it was at a barber battle, and I forgot what barber battle it was. It was when I was working still in Cape and before I left. Uh, but I remember you braiding somebody, and that was super refreshing because nobody was really doing braids and stuff like that, or doing like uh, enhancements, braids, and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
and I see a trend of you kind of looking to the future a lot, or being forward thinking in barbering. Where does that come from? Are you always just trying to have that edge on, not necessarily competition, but um, where does that come from? Like, I guess I'm trying to say I see in your work that it's always one step ahead of certain people, and where do you find the juice? Where is that sauce coming from?
Bro, my thing is like I know exactly what you're trying to ask. Like I just personally I like staying up to date. Like I feel like as someone's barber, like, and I know you see it, like I know you see barbers are still kind of stuck, like
Mm-hmm.
let's say in the early 2000s, like maybe giving out chin straps or something. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with it. It's
No.
just like to me, like I always wanted to be up to date, and if someone's paying me like money for their haircut, like I really do appreciate that, because I do understand that look, these guys could go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? And I don't do this just to like I don't know, I don't do this for fun. Like I this is my career, and I'm always
Yeah.
trying to like I study Instagram, like when barbers that I look up to, they post something, like I stick, I don't know how to explain that, how do I put it? Uh I have to study the best barbers that I know of,
Okay.
and that's really how I try to like stay up to date, you know? Like with the whole braids and stuff, like and I think they're still relevant now, but it got to a point where it was like really taking off, and I was like, you know what? Like I learned how to do this in hair school, and I'm gonna apply it to what I do now. And the braids were going crazy. I remember that competition too. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was
because I think
a
it was like back
crazy little
in
event.
2015, 2014, around there. But I just always remember that, and like seeing that, and it took like another like 6 or 7 months before I started seeing other barbers kind of do that stuff. So it was really impressive.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I appreciate that.
Now, talking about kind of expanding your brand in different things. I found it interesting that you did a Roblox uh, T-shirt for your Ace of Fade things with your
Oh
son.
dang.
Could you kind of speak on that? And people that don't know what Roblox is, if you have a kid, they probably know what it is. But
Yeah, for
what kind of
sure.
sparked that idea to work with your son with it, but just do that format?
It's crazy because my son, like, I don't know, I try to like teach my kids how to in a way like be entrepreneurs, and honestly, if they ever wanted to go to college and go that route and even working for somebody, like, that's totally fine too. But I always try to show them that, like, you could you don't have to wait for the next person to cut you a check, and
Mm.
they're like little they're little money hungry little demons, bro. Like, they honestly are always trying to come up off of me. Like, my daughter comes to the shop and she starts sweeping, and then she's just like, you know what I mean?
Where the
And
bread at?
yeah, for real. And my son, he came up to me. He's like, "Oh, dad, uh let's make a Roblox shirt because I
Mm-hmm.
really want to like sell it." And I was like, damn, like, boy, that's a good idea. And yeah, Roblox is the future of, like, I think, of gaming, really, because the point it's at right now, it's gonna like only evolve to a crazy level. But yeah, so he came up to me with the idea, and I was super stoked about it, and we made the shirt, and I just posted it on my page, on my story, and he got a good little amount of sales on it. And they give him like a certain percentage, you know what I'm saying? But it was just
Mm.
the fact that, like, and I mean, he spent it all back in Roblox anyways, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just the fact that I respected that a lot, that he actually wanted to like create something and sell it. Like, I mean, I love that. I'm an entrepreneur, so I had to help him out with it. But that's pretty much how that came about, the whole Roblox
That's
situation.
cool. Yeah, I think about and I guess this is kind of deviating from barbering stuff, but I think about the whole crypto world and all that stuff, and I see sometimes on your story you talk about that, and I'm waiting for the Barber NFT, which I'm putting out to the universe. If you put out a Barber NFT or whatever, if
Yo, that's dope.
yeah, if anybody, if you guys don't know what an NFT is, look it up. It's a non-fungible token. It's cryptocurrency stuff. But um, where do you think the being a person that looks kind of forward into the future, and you kind of came up before Instagram and all that stuff. Where do you think barbering's heading as far as you know um how we operate in the future? Do you think that all barbers are going to have to be more content creator, content conscious about stuff?
Um, I wouldn't say all barbers because I feel like there's a lane for everybody, but I
Yeah.
definitely feel like in the future it's like flyers have been replaced with social media. So
Yeah.
it's like back in the day you had to go and pass out like 1,000 flyers and do a lot of footwork like that. Now it's more like you have to pass out the flyers but through an online like source. So I personally, like, far ahead, I feel like eventually everybody's gonna get cut up by like some sort of machine, like, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
so
like the
so
Jetsons or something like that.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
swear I saw a post on it. It was like super like early, like this robot like cutting a person up. It was like super like, it was
Yeah, yeah,
weird,
yeah.
bro. But I was like, damn, like eventually like that's gonna come to, like,
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna be
think
over with.
yeah, it's crazy. It's I thought about that stuff too. I think it's gonna be like when we're old men, for it to be for people to trust it and all that stuff. But yeah, man, um, it's a crazy way we're heading as far as
No, definitely.
online appointments and all that stuff. Um, Now, kind of getting back to your shop with different content creators and stuff like that. Um, where where do you see the value in having a whole shop that kind of partakes in that? Because I think that's super impressive. Do you guys help each other out as far as editing stuff or kind of giving each other feedback, or everybody kind of does their own thing?
Yeah, like, I think it's amazing, honestly, because I don't know, like, to me, I always felt like I was the only person doing content. And like, as soon as everybody else started getting into it too, it started to become a thing where it's like, I mean, you follow like Christian too, right? Christian
Mm-hmm.
got fans.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all don't follow his page, make sure you check it out. But like, we keep each other on our toes. Like, even with Abdil, like, and he doesn't really like, he'll pop in and out with the barbering content, but
Mm-hmm.
when he wants to go, it's kind of like we're all in competition with each other, you know, like,
Yeah.
and it's just always like there'll be days where it's like, damn, this dude really has me feeling sick. Like, I'm sick. Like, he'll drop something and I'll just be like, damn, like I can't even sleep at night. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gets bad, but and it's all like friendly competition for sure, but it's just one of those
For
things
sure.
where it's just like it's competition. And I feel like when you do stuff like that, it just keeps like you keep trying to one up each other to the point that, you know, everybody around you is kind of like, okay, like they're stuck in a certain spot because they don't have that competition, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that, honestly. Like, my dream is to have a barbershop full of content creators. Like,
Yeah.
that's my dream. I don't really even care about the money like that. Like, I want to like reach that goal one day, like how Elegance was a couple years ago. Like,
Oh
bro,
yeah. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
team like that was amazing. Like,
Yeah. And even the level 3 guys now, and
yeah,
like
yeah, level 3 now. That's true.
yeah, and I think Wall is doing some crazy good stuff with uh Bird Mena, and they're I think they're catching on, and I
Oh,
think
really?
yeah, I think they're like I think they're trying to create more content and they realize the value in it, but I think it starts off with us, you know, just on the ground, just doing it and pushing it forward.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So talking about you're you're creating different content. Um, the video that you did recently, well, I guess maybe it was a month or two ago. The vampire video I thought was really cool, really creative. Where you somehow convinced the guy to shave off his eyebrows. Uh,
Yeah, I know
how
exactly what
did
you're talking
that
about.
yeah, how did that conversation go about, or how did that idea spark? Because I thought it was a really cool concept of and just different, very high level artistic hair stuff. So how'd you come up with that idea?
All right, the crazy story about that haircut was like, I was supposed to cut his brother, right? And I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
do a vampire video on his brother. And his brother is
Okay.
kind of like a barber. And his brother was cutting him up and shaved his eyebrows off.
Oh,
Like, shaved them
on
off by
accident.
accident. Like,
Oh
shaved
no.
like too much, and then he was just like, bro, just shave both the eyebrows. Like, I didn't really convince him, but like how social media
Yeah.
is sometimes, you have to build up a storyline. So like, I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, this is good, this is juicy. Like, I was supposed to cut up his brother, but he came at me with no eyebrows, and I was like, oh god, bet I'm gonna like
Extra
use you
vampire.
instead. And we bleached his hair. And honestly, like, I wanted to get it like really white, but it was gonna take like one more day, and it was like late that day. And I was like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, bro? Like, that was one of those moments where I was like, this will work. Like,
Yeah.
I know I could create the content, and like people will mess with it. And like, yeah, we shot that video at night. And like, it was just crazy because this man had no eyebrows, and I actually felt like he pulled it off, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt
It
like
looked
he
great.
pulled it off. Like, he was straight. It fit the look.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the no eyebrow request in the next year or two. We'll know where it came from.
Oh, damn.
Um, so in talking about the content that you build, I also know that you do YouTube stuff, and you know you've been focusing a lot on the Instagram Reels. Um, do you find more value in the Reels just because it's short form content that people can digest quickly? Do you want to get back into doing more longer format YouTube stuff? How do you feel about that?
No, absolutely. Yo, I felt like I've had success on Facebook and on Instagram, and I've never had success like that on YouTube, and I feel like YouTube is definitely the way to go. As a matter of fact, I'm only doing what I'm doing on Instagram just to move everybody from Instagram to YouTube. Like, I was
Yeah.
actually shooting a video yesterday for YouTube because my thing was I kind of wanted to take a break from YouTube because I was like, damn, I have to build a funnel like to get more
Mm-hmm.
people over there. And
Absolutely.
you know, like Kenny, right? Like the YouTuber Kenny Fi,
Maybe.
by
I
any chance?
if I see his stuff, I might recognize
Okay,
him.
well he's like a real big YouTuber, and he's a client of mine as well, and he's always giving me advice on it. And it's just one of those things where it's like anything else, you just have to build it up. And really, that's why I'm doing the reels, because it's something like short where I don't have to put so much time into, but at the same time it's really building up my content over here. But at the end of the day, I'm only doing any of that just to move everybody to YouTube. That's my goal, honestly.
Yeah.
And I will be posting stuff on YouTube soon. It's just trying to organize myself, really. Like, I'm trying to find like a better schedule, you know, compared to
Yeah.
like Instagram. You bro, I mean, a 10-second video, it's nothing, but YouTube, you're talking about like 10, 20-minute videos. That, you know how it is. I'm sure you've done
Mm-hmm.
video editing. Like, it
Yeah.
gets draining.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even with my content, we're trying to always. I'm trying to switch it up or see what the next avenue is and bring forth more attention. Because I think that's at the end of the day, that's where it's at of being significant in the barber industry, which is different from being a barber. I think I think you could be a barber and be completely shunned out of not using any social media and still be successful and still gain money.
Yes,
But
for
if you want to
sure.
be influential in the all over industry, you have to kind of be in the social media game.
Absolutely.
So I guess that will bring us to a good transition. Today's episode is sponsored by Clipper. Clipper is an all-in-one software built for barbers to run their businesses better. Whether you're managing a staff of 15 or managing your own personal clientele, Clipper has all the tools you need. A basic plan with Clipper starts as low as $1 a month. With the basic plan, you get access to online booking and a custom link to send to your clients, so they don't have to download yet another app to book an appointment with you. Clipper also offers a Supreme plan for $5 a month. The Supreme plan includes robust analytics, the ability to collect booth rent and commission, mobile payment, surge holiday pricing, custom QR codes, and much more. Clipper prides itself in being the best platform for barbers and shop owners and is always adding new features. To find out how Clipper can help your business grow, go to getclipper.com and sign up today. Now, back to the show. Good transition. So, if you follow me on Instagram or you follow Miguel on Instagram, you know that we ask questions before the interview. This is going to be kind of a new section, so we're experimenting. This might be the only time we ever do it. I hope not, but
Just give it a swing.
yeah, we're gonna give it a swing. We're gonna have people that are fans of the show, but also people that follow you that had questions. We're gonna try to cover most of it. Some of the stuff where we naturally already answered, but yeah, man, let's get into it. If you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. So this is a pretty deep one to start off with. And I don't know if I'm gonna give the people's names because I don't know if they want their IGs out there, so I just won't. But you'll know by the question, whoever submitted it. So, do you believe in your thoughts are more powerful than your actions, but through your actions you amplify them?
Oh, bro, I'm laughing because when I saw that question, I was like, bro, what the hell what are you
Yeah.
asking me?
Yeah, I think that's a really
But I do get it. It was real deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I do
reminds me of
believe
that movie
that.
10. Yeah.
I do believe that. I do believe by your actions you amplify your thoughts for sure. But yeah, when I saw that question, I was dying. Shout out to my boy Lewis. Like, I don't know what you were thinking.
Shit. So here's a good one. who and where do you get inspiration from? So I guess if there's any barbers, and I think we talked about it kind of before, that you have your top barbers that you like looking at. Is there anyone that comes to mind that you really appreciate their work?
Oh man, there's so many. I can't even like just pick one honestly, because I really
Yeah,
get inspiration from anybody. Like you could post something like you doing this podcast, like gives me inspiration. You get what I'm saying? So
I appreciate
really,
you.
I get inspiration from all my peers, whether it's like a barber that has no name, or or just anybody really, or like a super famous barber. Like I get inspiration from everybody, to be honest.
Nice. How do you find motivation to keep growing after you've been in the industry for so long?
Oh man, I just don't want to get left behind. Like barbering is
Mm,
like you're on today and you're out tomorrow, and I want to just make sure that I'm always like at least like within like reach of winning the race at least, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is with that.
here's another good one. Why don't you start making more merch?
Mm. Dang, the thing with merch is, bro, it's just a whole nother like grind of its own.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
like honestly, like once again, like just like I see my boy Abdil, like he's doing plugged in vintage, and his merch is so crazy that
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what, bet I'm gonna drop merch again, but when I drop it, it's gonna be a little bit more tasteful. Like it's gonna be more up to par with his stuff, because you already know what it is. It's just how I
yeah, yeah.
am.
Iron
So
sharpen
that's
iron,
really
baby.
why. That's really why. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming soon.
that's awesome. Look out for it, everybody. Um, here's a good one. How do you prevent walk-ins or clients from trying to cut down your haircut prices?
Oh, that is a good one.
Just being booked and saying you don't have time?
Nah, honestly, you know what's crazy, bro? All right. I feel like with that question, it's one of those things where how you prevent it is by just not allowing it, right? But
Hmm.
it also depends on, like, I always see it where it's like I'd rather have some money than no money. So depending on what stage you are in your career, sometimes you have to just swallow your ego and be like, you know what, bro, if this man's gonna just pay me a little bit less, but I'm gonna have someone in my chair, I'm gonna take that. But I mean, not everybody thinks like that. But to go back to the question, you just gotta like not allow it. Like, yo, this is my price, and if they don't want to do that, or they short you, that's it. You don't ever gotta cut them up again. But
Yeah,
it is what it
absolutely.
is.
Yeah, I can think back in times where I had a regular or whatever, and they might be going through hard times, and they kind of put me aside, and I'll look out for that and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a hard balance, because you value your time too.
Yeah, no, for sure. You have to set that value for yourself. Absolutely.
This is kind of a funny one. What do you think about most when you're giving a fade?
What I think about most, that is a funny one. Uh, damn, really, I'm just like, it's crazy because I really like zone out, honestly. I like
Yeah.
getting into a conversation with my client, and that's really it. But I don't know. I guess if I zone out, I'm always just trying to think like, yo, like what content am I gonna cook up today? Like that type of thing.
Yeah. Um, and let's see. And then this is not kind of a, this is not really a question, but it's kind of a statement. And I think I laughed at it pretty hard when I saw it. And it says, for a bald guy, how you learn to cut hair so well.
Bro, I knew that question was coming, on God. But I do have a very like good answer for that. And it's
Dude,
like
that's funny.
when you don't got hair like that, like I swear to you, like you appreciate that shit more. So like
You're like, I remember when I used to have hair.
dead ass. But yeah, we appreciate it more. So like if you come to me, I'm gonna give you a better haircut than anybody with hair. No offense,
Yeah,
Nelson. No
yeah.
offense.
Yeah, right.
Nah,
Shit.
nah. I be
No.
seeing the Thanos memes and shit. Like, oh, your barber look like Thanos. He's gonna snap. Like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Bro, like I hate
Uh,
people, bro.
uh, Trying your baldness. That's funny. Um, No, but I thank you everybody for submitting the asking questions. Um, so I guess from this point, we're gonna be wrapping it up here. Is there anything that you would like to uh, say or encourage people that are trying to get into the barber industry or that are already in the industry and kind of looking not to necessarily copy what you're doing, but kind of get into that space of creating more content, more high quality content? Would you have any advice for them or uh, pitfalls that you didn't see until you were in it?
Yeah, I would say to close things off, like nothing happens overnight, really. You have to like work for it. And I remember when I first started, like I would be like, damn, I gotta like figure this out by tomorrow, you know? And it's
Mm.
not like that. And it's never, well, I've never seen it like that. I do think it's a lot faster now with YouTube being out. You could get better faster and
Yeah.
all that. But I would definitely just tell everybody you have to just go through whatever you're going through, because I mean, barbering's it's really like you have to be mentally like equipped to deal with all the highs and lows, because
Mm.
that's really what this is about. And honestly, like that's why when you messaged me, Nelson, you remember, like along
Mm-hmm.
it's been a couple months ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, I just can't do it right now. Like I have a
Yeah.
lot going on. I remember I
Yeah.
always felt bad because I was like, damn, I knew you weren't thinking it, because I don't think you're like that. But sometimes I feel like people are like, oh, like you're bougie, like you don't
Oh
want to
no.
like work with me, or but it's never that. It's just the fact that at the time I felt like I didn't even have anything to like necessarily offer, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm glad I was able to do this interview with you more now than it's I feel like I'm at a point where like if you're tuning in now, like you probably don't even know who I am like that. So I could I wanted to do this interview kind of like right now. I feel like I'm in an evolution state of my career where, you know,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like evolving every day to the point I want to get to. And in doing that, I feel like you leave behind like a lot of blueprints for whoever wants to like pick up on, you know, the way to get there. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's really it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, I appreciate you also waiting the time and all that stuff. I think it's a blessing anytime anybody ever comes on here, man. Um, Especially barbers that are just have busy and just life in general, so it's an honor to have you and to be able to do this interview.
Yeah, no, bro. I appreciate you having me on here, honestly. I think this is an amazing idea, and I know it's gonna go like really far, bro. Especially
I
with what you
appreciate you.
got going.
Thank you. Thank you. So usually at the end of the show, I like to shout out the barber that we have on. So where can people find your work and all your social media stuff to check out these videos we've been talking about and check you out?
Just follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Everything's AOF Miguel, and that's pretty much it. I'm not really trying to be on Twitter or anything like that. So any of
Yeah,
those places, AOF Miguel, and you'll be able to find me.
bet. All right. Thank you so much, Miguel. I
Thank you,
appreciate
bro.
you doing this interview, man, and can't wait to see more content, man. I truly enjoy when you post new videos, and it's always exciting. So thank you.
Thank you, bro. For real. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
my brother.
Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this, please share it with your fellow friends and fellow barbers. Consider subscribing, leaving us a rating, and let me know what you think about the ask questions. We're going to be doing that on Instagram right before we do the interview. So if you don't follow the Instagram, and I will be posting on my stories of what barber we have coming up next, and you could ask them any of the questions that you have on your mind. Until next time, everybody, stay present.